Look at here. It's getting that time. All over Georgia, there has been this thing that's going on here where like Georgia has become this little old Georgia has become a major movement on the political scene. And we have had extended voting and all of that there going on. And it's all going to come to a head Tuesday. So I have gotten several gentlemen here. I've collected together, be introducing them to you. And they'll be from the Georgia Biker Set and various other entities. And we're going to be talking about voting tomorrow, or Tuesday rather, and how important it's going to be and that sort of thing. For my biker folks, for you guys to see this. I want to thank you guys all for being here. And we're going to do that right after this. Man, for once, I got my button pushing together. Life Resurrection Project, we see you. Your wife's going to have surgery in 3 days. We are all praying for her and hoping for the best. She's been working. You've been working so hard, man. Thanks for tuning in, even though I know you guys are going through so much. Thanks for supporting the show so much. Listen, we got some distinguished guests here. I'm kind of excited about the show. And we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about voting and its importance and, why we are important in Georgia and getting out the vote. So without any further ado, let me bring on my folks. I'm going to have to unmute everybody. Make sure to get my button pressing good tonight. Okay. And boom. Let's see. How does that work? Oh, hold on. Wrong button. Boom. Okay. One more time. Boom. Ah, there we go. Hey. Hey, listen. We don't have our own engineer here. I'm the guy, so forgive me. We're gonna go from top to bottom. We're gonna introduce everybody and what you do, and we'll get into our discussion. So at the top, Mr. Griffin. Uh-oh.
Thank you.
There we go.
You got me?
Got you.
Thank you very much, Michaels, for inviting us tonight, and especially me. My name is I'm a retired Army Colonel, former Georgia State Senator and businessman.
Former Georgia State Senator and businessman. Man, thank you so much for being on the show tonight. Mr. Lucette.
Community volunteer. I'm a member of the NAACP. Retired truck driver, and been married for almost 40 years. So
we lost the very beginning of it. What was the very beginning of what you said?
I was just saying, my name is Dexter Lucette, and I'm a community volunteer. I volunteer with quite a few organizations, and I'm a retired trucker and I'm a member of the NAACP here in Baldwin County.
We knew another community volunteer who rose to great stature, became a president. So we appreciate all that you do. Mr.
Yeah,
Ellison.
My name is Eddie Ellison. I'm a proud U.S. Army retired first sergeant, and I'm just a person that's enjoying retirement.
Amen. Pastor Larkin.
Hey, good afternoon. Thanks for having me tonight. I am Pastor Larkin, and I'm a pastor and an author and educator, coach, and executive, and I'm excited to be here with you guys on tonight.
Wow, an author too. We got to talk about that. That's really exciting. I'm an author myself. Essay Club Brother, how are you, sir?
Hey, Dragon. My name is Vince Edwards. I'm on the bike set. I'm known as Essay. I'm retired state worker, and I'm happy to be here. Hope I can bring some insight.
It's good to have you, sir. And Pastor Curry, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good. Good to be here with you all. I'm the AME Church of Georgia. Very active with the ACP Baldwin County 5169.
It's good to have you, sir. I grew up in the AME Church, Lawton, Oklahoma. Oh my goodness, Mount Hope. God, I can't. Oh, that was I was 7. But that name is going to come back to me in a minute. It wasn't Mount Hope, but I'll tell you what it was. It'll come back to me. But anyway, it's good to have you guys here. So my first question, and I'll throw this out, is if since the it's already, isn't it already 49, something like that? So, how important is this vote? I mean, you got Kamala Harris for the Democratic Party to break any ties or anything like that. So is this vote even important anymore? So we'll start out with you, Pastor Larkin.
Well, again, thanks for having me tonight. Anytime we have an opportunity to participate in the political process, regardless of the party that we represent, it's not just, in my view, a right, but it's also a responsibility for us. And particularly for us as everyone on here is an African-American male. And for us, having the opportunity to participate in the political process, which can help to shape not only our country, but the culture of our communities for things that matter most to us. And if we do not participate in the game, then I think it becomes even more difficult to talk about the context of what happens during the game.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. What do you have to say, Mr. Ellison?
I think it's very important to vote. I don't know how we can look at it as a game because it's too serious to consider a game. A game, something you have fun at. This is something that we do that so many of our forefathers and mothers they died for the right for us to have a vote, and for us to not to have an attitude that it doesn't matter is the wrong thing to do. Our community, the position that it doesn't matter, but then they don't. That's the reason why we don't have things such as Medicaid expansion here in the state of Georgia, because we don't turn out to vote, and that's the only way we can get things done, by turning out to vote, taking it serious, and getting out there and doing it.
Representative Griffin, tell us what you think, sir.
Well, I think it's extremely important to 51st vote in the Senate for a number of reasons. Number one, Vice President Kamala Harris to do some other things, and instead of trying having to work her schedule to be around Washington when its vote is needed. Secondly, in having that extra, it gives the Senate an opportunity to not with the Republican side of the House from the standpoint of a committee can do that on their own. And it also is very important from the standpoint that was in the Senate, Senator Senator the senator from West Virginia. I can't call his name right now. Who's followed politics a little bit, understand what they do. So sometimes don't play the game. So that vote is extremely important. And as much importance is that we there to their character and competence is very high. Someone in that position who is going to have pound in telling them how to vote, and they are going to vote that way. Senator, and I understand the political process and how we should go by making decisions on how we should vote.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Essay. What do you think about that from a biker's perspective? The vote is already determined in terms of us having the majority or of the Democrats or Republicans, whatever the case may be. What is your idea about? Is it still important to go vote?
It's very important. That's one of the worst things that can happen, especially with our youth. I hear a lot of young people say it ain't gonna make a difference anyway. They're gonna pick it who they want in there, and that's a lot of BS. If we continue to let that happen and we don't vote, yes, they will pick and put who they want in there, and you won't have that right again because it's being challenged. Your right to vote is being challenged. So no, you don't need to be complacent. I don't care if you are if your party has got all the ends and definitely going to win. You still need to exercise that right to vote, because once you get complacent, it might not be this race, but you get complacent and stay at home this race, then the next one that's really close, you might still be that complacent person.
So, I'm curious, Pastor Larkin. Or hold on, I didn't get Pastor Curry. Pastor Curry, what do you think about that question? I'm sorry.
Yes, I think it's definitely imperative that we must continue to vote. We see the continued attack by the GOP to suppress the black vote. They have things to do in any way necessary, and we see with the Warnock walk. So we must continue to encourage our people and in order for us to have some progress within our.
So let's talk about it. You guys. I'm not from Georgia. I come from Oklahoma, which was a pretty tough place, as you can imagine. But you guys have seen a time when voting wasn't easy. Anybody care to discuss the differences between those times and what you see now?
Well, I'm probably I am one of the oldest individuals on the show tonight. I go back to the '60s, the civil rights movement. I participated in as a student at Tuskegee University. At that time, Tuskegee Institute.
Mhm.
What we see today in the vote, voting here in Georgia is moving back to those days. Voting should be one of the things that we as citizens in this country and uh, should be able to do. So I just see back in that direction, and just look at what has happened during early voting to this during this this runoff. We only had a total in Baldwin County 6 days for early voting. And one of those days at the last month, at the last minute, when some of us had to board and have a come to Jesus meeting with them to put that Saturday voting in. We should not have to go through those kinds of things. And those are the things to work on from the standpoint of the recent bill passed a couple of years ago, 202, before the 24 election.
What about you, Mr. Lucette? What do you see as the differences in the times when you began to be able to vote and what you see now? Not hearing you. Did you hit the mute button by accident?
I sure did. I'm sorry. First, I want to thank you for the opportunity to be here on your show. My thing is from the being, it's just that I think that the people that we need to respect the folks that have put their lives on the line and fought for us to get the right to vote. And I've lived through a couple of riots and stuff in Jersey, and I just think that, we should respect them and honor them by going out here and casting our votes when we get the chance, because it's just too much to sit back and let other folks dictate or run our lives. And I'm worried about people like our children. If we don't go out and cast our vote, what kind of world are we going to leave for them? I just think voting is really a necessity as well as a privilege, and I just think everybody should do that. No one should omit themselves from casting a vote as long as they can vote.
So I tell you, being from Oklahoma, my great grandfather was a Texas Ranger, and he ran into some trouble while he was out doing his thing. And the result was they showed up on his doorstep and hung him in front of my grandmother and his other children. And the things that he had done, he opened up 400 Black and Indian schools. He did all kinds of remarkable things. He was a bishop in the AME church way back then, and his name was Bishop Vance. And so for all of these things that he did to wind up like he did, for me, voting and standing up for your principles is just absolutely the most important thing you can do. It's invaluable. And I wanted to do this show for bikers to get out and vote, especially here where I live, because my family's involvement. My mother was down here during the all of the freedom fighting and everything from Oklahoma. You guys probably don't know Miss Clara Luper, but she was a huge civil rights person in the Oklahoma area. So that's all my family ever did from my great grandfather's day until today was work on voting and voting campaigns and voting rights. And, we've had the crosses burned in front of our yards and all this kind of thing. A very personal struggle with being able to practice the rights that I see so many people abandon or just get on their motorcycles and ride around. So many people tell me I don't vote anymore. What do you think about that, SA? Folks who say I don't vote, and we know lots of them. what would you say to them?
I'm saying that I was just thinking that this is a unique picture here. I think everybody that's on this call right here was probably born before 1965. And we didn't have all our rights as a U.S. citizen. So we are just people within this generation that didn't have all your rights as a U.S. citizen. And your right to vote was restricted until the 1965 Voting Act was passed. And for someone to say that is not going to make a difference, we had people that shed blood, that were beat and whipped, dogs sicked on them, and everything, just so that you could have the right to vote. So no, do not, and especially the biker community, do not take this for granted. This is something. Hey, we need to stand together as a biker community, as an African American community, to show our strength and our unity. And no, we need everybody.
Absolutely. Pastor Curry, what have you seen in terms of turnout and direction going with this election? How do you feel about it?
I feel that the turnout has been exceptional, great turnout, and I think motivate that we will have a good president, a good showing, and of course the political culture have changed on the attack of the black vote to have various innovation initiatives to register to vote and vote. So it's an ongoing process. It doesn't end on Tuesday. We all play a big part in this here, even though it get tired sometimes. But we must continue to encourage our people not to fall back because of all the political and shown on TV and all the they just must continue to press on. Have a big showing on Tuesday.
So I'm going to put this. Oh, go ahead.
I'm going to pick it back on that question, Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just give some statistical data extremely important from this, and we're talking about here in Baldwin County, but I'm heritage around the state, and I agree with Pastor Curry that the turnout was good here in the state and in Baldwin County. But in Baldwin County, this past Friday, 7,778 voted. Okay, in early voting.
Mm-hmm.
3,400 of those were African Americans. But of course, is that only 1,200 were African American men. Now, the black women was 6 women of that 3,400, and of that there was about 35%. We got to kick that up. We got up. So that's why this show is so important. But it's not just important. I mean, in Baldwin County, it's important around the seeing all of this. I'm asking the bikers. You probably know some people in Georgia. If you don't, you call the in, and we can give you. I'll call a biker Allen, and they can get some names for you. Call at least 10 people, and voting on Tuesday, it asked them to go to the polls and vote. And like, man, black women are doing it. Our black men, let's just bet are not getting out to vote in the numbers that we need. We need in Baldwin County a minimum of 50 of our registered black voters to go to the polls to vote at this point in time.
So we have a new person that just came in. Please introduce yourself, sir. Are you on mute?
Hey, greetings.
Greetings.
Hey, yeah, hi. I'm Clarence Hall for the Vice President of the local branch NAACP, and a pleasure and honor to participate in this open pretty much forum. So, hey, here I am, ready to go, locked and ready.
All right.
Again, I want to thank you for allowing us to use your platform, and you using it so wisely. Many have many have platforms that does not use them as wise that they should. But hey, that's another story for a different day. But again, I thank you from the NAACP Vice President and so as well to President Edwards. I'm quite sure that you and her has talked and dialogue about a lot of things. So again, I'm grateful to be here.
All right. So I need you to either move back a little bit or move your camera up some so we can see your face. All right. Did you go to the Million Man March?
Right there, brother.
I was there too.
Wow. Oh man, was I there? I mean, I promise you that energy right there, man. I promise you, 1995 still got it. Well, I loved it.
You remember the part where we was walking past everybody, shaking hands and saying where you were from?
No doubt. Yes, I do.
Oh yeah.
We have to talk about that in another show. Get me back to your face.
Yeah.
I can't see if I'm doing this to see. There you go. Perfect. So I'm going to throw this out here, and this is so, you guys don't have to answer it or whatever, or we can jump into. It's time to get into a little fire. So a lot of times when a black guy is out doing a good thing or whatever, a lot of times another black guy will come to face us down. And I don't know. I thought it was very interesting when Warnock versus Herschel Walker. But is it fair to say that somebody isn't qualified and therefore shouldn't be allowed to run? We see this in motorcycle clubs where people will vote who they like more than who's best for the job. Or is it fair to say that somebody's not qualified or somebody isn't as educated or isn't as experienced? Or is it just fair that anybody should be able to run? Or is this some kind of a ploy or a tactic? So I just thought I'd throw that out there. I'll hit you with it first, Pastor Larkin.
Is it fair, to say that anyone isn't qualified? I want to borrow from my dear friend Clarence Hall. He often says, and I do understand why you asked the question, but let me preface my answer by saying this. And speaking of the context of the church, Brother Hall often says that God doesn't call the qualified, but He qualifies the called. And so, in that respect, I am convinced that any of us, and whatever it is that we elect or decide to do, have full rights to do that. But when we are considering the political landscape, in my view, I believe it is best to vote and cast your vote for the person that you believe, one, has your best interest at heart, two, work and serve for the needs of your community, and three, is the person who is most qualified to represent the people. So that is my view and how I take a look at that context. That it is important in this political landscape that we elect those and put people into office who has the interest of your community at heart and who certainly will do the job that they are sent to do.
Outstanding. I'm going to ask you, Mr. Ellison, the same question.
My point is that yes, you can say someone is not qualified. I mean, just because you have the right to run, I think you have to ask yourself the question whether you're qualified. That's this position here for the U.S. Senate. The difference between Warnock and Herschel Walker, for instance. Do you think Herschel Walker is qualified to write a law? You know, to be able to pull something to the state, you have to be able to get a law, to write a law, to understand, to see whether it'll pass, and then get people with you. And sometimes I think sometimes you can get in a position where you just be there and not know what to do. So what are you doing? Your constituent. That's the thing I think we have to look at with him. So yes, we can say whether it's qualified or not qualified. If you just look at the background of Herschel Walker and Reverend Warnock, and then to think of the things, not so much as you would think maybe say you would graduate from the University of Georgia, but first off, you have to have some kind of integrity by telling the truth. And so I know that we look at them and say which one we should vote for, but it's an easy choice. And I don't know why they want to pit. You notice they went down and got another black man to pit so they could divide the black community. And so we should be smart enough and educated enough to be able to see the ploy that they're using.
I'm going to ask you, Mr. Vice President, what do you think about that?
Well, just because you're able to qualify does not qualify to run. And I know the tactics of, I hate to say it, but I know the tactics of others to divide us, right? It's not what he can do for them, and what he can do, what they can do with him. Because they have really has no interest in his race or him, matter of fact. And that's the technique that they always use. And I promise you, I've been in dialogue all day with, and I've been kind of like the story with my I know there's a different subject, with my brother Deion Sanders, that, congratulating the officers out to go to Colorado University. But I thought the brother was on a movement and not a moment. But that's how we get played and get paid. But that's how we do, and they play us against each other. It go deeply back to the Willie Lynch theory, divide and conquer, and you'll find it even in your own group. Once you divide the house will not stand. I mean, so that is he qualified or educated run. I mean, I don't see how I can represent the people of Georgia, and they know this too as well. He's the embarrassment to go to the Senate from the state of Georgia as a representation of the state of Georgia. That's not what they want. Well, anything to divide us and keep us separated, then they'll use it. But hey, Warnock all the way, man. But I say this too while I'm on this point. Whether Warnock, Harry Tubman, or Frederick Douglass win, we still got what we got to do as a black culture. That's why I'm at with it. Right wing, left wing, hooked up to the same bird. When they drop and fall, it always falls on the less fortunate.
Right. I like that. Mr. Lucette, what do you have to say about that, sir?
Well, what I have to say is that I just feel, excuse me, that people get qualified, qualified with told whether they're qualified every day. You go to a job interview, they talk about your qualifications. Everything is based on your qualifications, how much you get paid or not. So I think you have the right, since it happens in life as a natural every day, you have a right to have your own opinion on somebody's qualifications or someone's qualifications. Like Mr. Ellison said, judging from backgrounds, you can see it pales by comparison who's more qualified for the job as Senator of Georgia. And I think that's what people need to go by, and not this rhetoric that folks are throwing around. And you got to also judge who's backing Herschel Walker. That's my feelings on the thing right there.
Pastor Curry, same question.
Well, again, the political over the years, and now the GOP will do anything necessary to to get their job. Unfortunately, we have a brother who spent more time in Texas than Georgia, being misled by a group of people. And it's just a shame. Continue to canvass, continue to do all that we power our people to register to vote and vote. It's an ongoing process. Continue.
Outstanding. And Representative Griffin.
Well, I fully agree with everything that has been stated. Let's get down to the lick lag. Herschel Walker qualified to be a U.S. Senator. Let's just lay it out. Now, I've been in politics for a long time and been in the politics. And, you know, I keep coming back to the person that I know qualified to run for the seat that he's running for. And the person, there are several things that I try to determine in the person that I want to vote for and support. If I vote for, I'm out there supporting them. And once again, I want to go character, integrity, preparation, and competence. And very important, and I think people put this in consideration, can't be at the table, then you need to elect someone at the table who's going to represent your interests, the interest of your, in this case, the interests of the United States. Now, as we go on and put it out there, saying that somebody put him in Donald Trump, and if Christian Walker is elected, I know he won't. But if he was elected, he would, his orders from Macomb and Donald Trump have the intellectually ability to deal United States Congress. Hey man, my brothers and sisters, this is when he stepped into the U.S. Congress. It was serious business when I stepped into the, even with all of my experience and background. So is not qualified, and we need to go out and vote against him back to Texas. We don't need him in Georgia anymore. Go back to last 2 or 3 decades.
So let me ask this question. So should Georgians be concerned about voting for what's best for Georgia, or this seat seems to be so important, and so many people are wanting Georgians to vote for the power of moving things towards one political agenda or another, rather than necessarily for what's good for Georgia. So they want this to be a national election, and we got all these people and all this money and all these rabble rousers from outside in here in good old Georgia. These folks we won't see tomorrow, or I should say when. So what do you all think about that? We'll start. Yes, sir.
Excuse
Yes,
me. I just wanted to go back to the last question before you move on now.
Did I miss you?
Yeah. I think that the voters themselves will qualify the candidate, and every American citizen should have the right to run for office with the exception of two. I don't think vampires or werewolves should be allowed to run for office. So that's my point on it.
So now on to the new question. And you know what? I hear you on that. My thing was I've heard a lot of folks say, this guy just ain't even qualified. Uh, but I mean, is that a fair thing? And for me, it's kind of funny because I talk about these things, and it's so funny that I would see what happened in so many motorcycle clubs. Uh, Play it's the same thing out in the national. Like you would think that national elections and stuff would not be as childish as we are in these motorcycle clubs. And I watch it happening all the time, and I can juxtapose these positions and things that these folks are doing, and it's the same kind of little crabby stuff we see in the MC world. So it's kind of cool to sit back and reflect on it and say, even in our clubs, we get a lot of outside interest coming in trying to run what we're doing on the inside. And I think a lot of people fall prey to that, not understanding that, in my opinion, your first duty is to who can represent you locally up there, and be thinking about that because that's your representative, that's your senator, and if that person can't even write, like someone said, legislation or laws, that's kind of sad in my opinion. But I'll let you guys speak. You're the guest, so we'll start with you, Mr. Lucette.
Okay, thank you. Well, in my opinion, that about it needs to start from inside out. Needs to start with your local representation in order for it to get up there to the big place where we can really get things done. Um, I just feel that there's too many people that I don't know if they have blinders on or their eyes shut or they're just ignorant that they don't want to try to do what's right. They need somebody to lead them, and they pick the wrong people to follow. Um, Everybody should realize that you have to, in order with this voting, that you have to deal with someone that's got your best interests in heart, and when you don't do that, then everything will go willy nilly. You'll go willy nilly. You'll follow behind anybody because you don't have any direction of your own because you're not thinking for yourself.
Thank you. Mr. Ellison.
Well, a U.S. senator, his first priority is to represent his state. And, that's a lot of money, that billions and billions of dollars that run through the federal government. And, that U.S. senator is supposed to try to get his state a portion of this money. And they all come together and they do things supposed to represent that good for the entire country. But that senator, the main thing is that, hey, to try to attract jobs to come to his state, get this money to come in. But they don't understand why they don't want to expand Medicaid, because there would have been billions of dollars to the state. It's all power grab. And then you want someone who could be honest, because once they're there, you got to have someone that has integrity, like Mr. Griffin said, because they got these lobbyists that are always trying to get them to go their way and stuff like this. So you need integrity, honesty, and someone who knows what they're doing, who can propose legislation and know how to talk with people and to try to influence people to get on the team, because on these committees they join up, they write bills, and then they happen to get people to do it. And that's what we need. And right now it's that's what seems to corrupt all of them, is the money. And mainly it's not so much money right now for the Republicans. They just want the power, and they'll put anybody in there for the seat. They say, hey, just sit in the corner, and when I tell you to press the red button, that's what they do, and that's what's going on in the state order right now.
I appreciate you. We're going to go to you, Pastor Larkin.
Well, yes. Thanks for giving me an opportunity to address this question. Certainly, as Mr. Ellison has stated, concerning the role of the U.S. Senator, which is to represent the state. And as you have pointed out, there is a lot of national interest in this race for other reasons, many of which Mr. Ellison has mentioned. But I want to quote something that my brother Mr. Hall said. He said whether it's the left wing or the right wing is both connected to the same verb, and things seemingly fall on the poor. Um, Even with this election, getting in at this point, oftentimes it's not too late, but it's late. And here's what I mean by saying that, because even if Senator Warnock, which certainly has my vote, gets to the Senate and he is able to secure a portion of these funds that come back to the state, now for Georgia, there was an opportunity to put people in place that represented the best interests at the Senate and the state of Georgia, as well as for the House to then channel those funds into communities that are marginalized, left out, and looked over. So if there's not an interworking of all of those pieces, then sometimes even if the candidate of choice makes it to the national office, the individuals in communities, more often of color, are still overlooked. And hospitals in rural areas have closed at an alarming rate over the course of the past few years, and that comes as a result of not national senators and representatives, but because of decisions that are made at the state and local levels. So all of the politics play a huge role. And as we have heard so many times, that all politics is local. So it's important not just to show up in the national elections, but also for every election, because it's not just a right, but also a responsibility.
Outstanding, man. Sir, I appreciate that. Essay.
Yes, go ahead.
I wanted to get your take on that last question. And we were talking about, the national referendum versus the local referendum, and how you think people should think first when they're voting, as there are so many people from, where I come from. We used to call them rabble rousers, and that was the term we used in Oklahoma. I don't know if that's a term around here, but that's for the outside folks that come in here and have all this to say, and then they'll be gone Wednesday morning, and all their money with them. So I was trying to get your opinion on that.
Well, I think back, I don't know exactly the words, but it's an old gospel song. It says, "Let my deeds speak for me." And if you had politicians that started on the local level, community activists that have been active in the community, as opposed to a celebrity, a football player, or a television host who just, they're getting a popularity vote. So, once again, sometimes people are so easily misled by the bright lights and everything, or the what's surrounding a celebrity, and thinking that that is the person that they need to vote for. And it's sad. It's sad that our country has come down to this, that people can't see the trickery and everything in the deeds, or whether if they can see it, they don't care. They accept it because it gives them or feeds them the things that they want to accept as their agenda. Um, just to say that this person, not would he, speaking of Herschel Walker, he wouldn't just be a rubber stamp politician, he would be a puppet. And that's my take on it.
Outstanding. Thank you. Pastor Curry, same question.
Well, like this with me, Lindsey Graham is not helping the state of Georgia. Responsibility to interfere with the Georgia election. Should Herschel Walker become the Senate from Georgia, the GOP caucus would use their influence on her state of South Carolina and help the state of Texas and push their agenda. They would not of Georgia. And that's sad. That's what we have with this here. And we empower our people to vote.
We don't see you anymore. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Uh-oh. Take yourself off mute. Or no, hold on there. There you go. Got you. Stop.
Got you.
Yeah.
Yes. My take on the whole deal is taking our respective place in America, first of all, and just speak truth to power what we see when we see the two America. We all felt just around America, right? So again, I want to understand that Georgia wasn't so much against Herschel Warnock. They didn't want Stacey Abrams to be governor of this state of Georgia. She's too Afrocentric. Then what she doesn't have that others have, like Kamala Harris, Cassandra Jackson, Clarence Thomas, and Herschel Walker. She does not have a white significant other. So they wouldn't have that. That's a sign of approval, of a stamp of approval in America. We see that too far around in America. And I even go further than that because, I hate this deal thing on culture of black and white, but it's all black, white, or green. That's what we are with it. When you see the descriptions against things you see around here, even again, I'm talking about voting. Our greatest assets in America will be the Supreme Court. Make sure they don't pass laws that keep from lynching Negroes again, because we still got laws on the books now. That's our hate bill passed under a black president, strengthen the Senate and the House of Representatives. Does not have a John Lewis voting right bill passed again under a black president. 8 years in power. So we still got work to do. I say I don't get caught up too much in it, and I'm an advocate. I'm a registered, whole family registered vote. When we talk serious business, right? I want them to know where they are in America and recognize what you see. I say that, and we know the picture. And I'm saying it's kind of all script, but this is what I'm at with it. When I see a picture of a Jerry Jones 65 years ago, 14 years old, but he's the owner of a Dallas Clan boys. But again, I know Emmett Till, 14 brutal murder. John Steeney, wrongly convicted and executed. 14. So I'm with America and try to stay encouraged, brother. I promise you. And keep my people in scripture, but I must keep them woke. But sometimes it's time for the lion to lead the sheep to sleep and give the other lions to just fight and just tell the truth.
Okay, outstanding. Yeah, so many of those points that you make, we feel and lived and watched, and it is, it's I almost cursed. You wasn't supposed to bring this out of me tonight, but when I do see a Jerry Jones standing there, and they roasting Kanye West and not Jerry Jones too, so it's amazing to me, but. It's not amazing. We know what.
You're not amazed, I know.
So
that question, please. The question you asked earlier.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm going to go. I'm going to go straight to the point on the question that you asked. And elected official, but we're talking about U.S. Senator. Does he represent local, state, or national? That person is juggling a lot of balls. That local, state, and national. Now, when I was in the military and had my young officers working for me, responsibilities, I told them that you are carrying a lot of balls, glass balls, and you can juggle those balls and keep them to your level. But if you drop a glass ball, it's going to break. So that's basically the way I see the U.S. Senator. Warnock or anyone other than Senator Warnock has kept balls. And he's worked with the Biden administration, dollars here to Georgia, significant uh, dollars to Georgia. And there are other things the senator does other than just present the individuals who calls into his office to ask questions of other things he's done. So the key thing I just want to say is that we as voters need to better understand the responsible individuals that we are voting on.
Yes, sir. Absolutely appreciate you for that. Okay, we've been at it about an hour, so wow, time just flies by. And I just don't know how to thank you all. To have all of you esteemed gentlemen on my show, strong brothers, and we just don't get portrayed in the right light. We don't get to have situations. But someone told me a long time ago, my college professor, I was saying something about I wanted a motorcycle magazine, and I was upset that none of the motorcycle magazines of the time had any black women as models in them. And I was all hollering and upset. I was in class and I was commiserating. They won't put us in their books. And he says, "What's wrong with you making your own motorcycle magazine?" And that was the birth of Black Iron Motorcycle Magazine. So we can take our own stories and audiences and platforms and speak about what's important. Sometimes those platforms will get knocked down and we just have to put another one up. So I appreciate you gentlemen being on my platform tonight to talk about voting, to talk about what's important with voting. And for my audience, my bikers, we don't always talk about things like that. A lot of times they get mad at me. I was watching you, but now I'm not going to watch anymore because you're talking about politics. Shut up and stick to biking. And you know that, that don't play well with Black Dragon. Any closing statements that anybody wants to make? Let's keep these short because we really got about 3 minutes, but I want to make sure I get any final things you want to say out, especially with respect to that vote coming Tuesday. So we'll start with you, Representative Griffin.
Thank you very much for having enjoyed the conversation. And once again, I ask your bikers on to listen to the show tonight to not only get out to vote, but lastly, get 10, 15 other people to go to the polls. Scheduled forecast the rain in Georgia. Get your rain coat, your umbrella, and when I was going up, you'll go put them on and go to the polls and vote. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Lucette, man, thank you so much for being on tonight. And what are your final words?
Thank you. My final words is, first of all, I want to thank you for letting us use your platform. It was an honor. And my thing is, I just want to tell everybody, you need to get out and cast your vote. Your vote is your voice. And if you don't express it, there ain't no need in you complaining once we get put in the situations that we're in. I thank you once again. God bless you, and you take care.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Ellison.
Well, I just like to say vote, vote, vote. But I'd like to say this to point out, let's not only just get people out to vote for general elections and hot button elections like the one that's going on in the state of Georgia. Let's talk to our people about voting in all elections, local elections, grassroots elections. That's where it starts, because that's the reason why we have these houses that are filled with people that shouldn't be there, and they're not really representing us. So let's vote in all elections, because we show up for general elections, but we don't want to show up for other elections like grassroots elections.
Amen. Uh, uh, Pastor Larkin, sir, your final words.
Again, I want to say thank you to you for having me on tonight, along with this amazing panel of guests. And my word of encouragement would be simply to exercise your right to vote. Voting is not just a right, but also a responsibility, especially for those who have long had that privilege deprived of them. And I think a lot of times the apathy that has resulted as it relates to voting is because we're so disconnected as it relates to our understanding of what our ancestors endured as it related to voting and being fully recognized as a citizen. So I'm encouraging those who were born after 65, people like me, who are unaware and did not live through those moments, but to exercise that right, knowing that others have bled and died just for you to have that responsibility. Thank you again.
Absolutely appreciate you for that. Club brother, I say, talk to us.
Well, I really want to speak to the two-wheel nation, our biker brothers and everything. Things that we do, we wear our cuts, or for the people that don't know, that's our vest. And we adorn it with our patches and our insignias and things that tells what you are about, the things you believe in. We take our bikes, we fix them up because it's an expression of who we are. Your vote is an expression of who you are. You should feel just as proud to put that I voted patch on your cut and wear it to your bike night or wear it to your meetings or anything on the set and show that you are active in the community, just as active as you are on the set. So, hey, biker brothers, sisters, social clubs, everyone, get out and vote.
Outstanding. Thank you, sir. Reverend Curry, Pastor Curry.
I want to thank you for hosting us tonight. Platform to empower your people. May God continue to bless.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And Vice President, sir.
Again, once again, we can't thank you enough. I promise you, our local branch and others that assemble here. But we got a motto in our local that states that we're stronger together. And we're not outnumbered, we're out organized. And that's what I'm saying with brother like yourself, brother Vince and others, that we can come together and unify and get some stuff done. Because at the end of the day, like I say, after January the 6th, we still got work to do. I mean, so we have to continue to move on and press on. And I know this, we had a little event here a while back, 14th, a couple month ago, where we did a little protest and whatever. We had some participation, and it's meant volume to see brother come together and a few sisters. I want to understand, because when you teach a brother, you teach an individual. When you teach a sister, you teach a whole nation. And we got to stand, because we are nothing without the women, even though James Brown's is a man world. But he said it's nothing without a woman in it. So we had to keep on pressing on and just stay together, brother. Hey, working together requires one thing, that's understanding. You and I will not agree on everything, but it got to be about the people. It has to be about the people. That go from the set to the church. And I'm gonna say that then I won't go to bed. I probably don't go to bed. I tell the Madam President here today, I said, I see why I can't find no scarecrows in the field no more, Brother Curry and Pastor Larkin, because they went to the church. I never seen so many scared brothers in one place.
Amen.
Devastated. I mean, I was like, I could have moonwalked out the place. But hey, brother, again, I thank you for allowing me and allowing us to come on and use your platform, brother, so wisely. Again, I salute you. May God continue to rest upon you and order your step and everything that you touch, even your handball, everything you touch, it prosper, your group and everything, your family, whatever, wherever you go, brother. Peace be unto you.
Peace be unto you, brother. Thank you guys so much. I've been struggling through COVID tonight. I just when you think it's over, it hits you. You can't talk. So we managed to get to an hour, and I didn't do all this. So very thankful for that. My voice was anointed for as long as it needed to be. So now I'm getting ready to go to bed. Hey, I also want to thank our sponsors tonight, the Baldwin County, Milledgeville, Georgia, uh, 5169 chapter of the NAACP. I hope I said that right. And we
Correct.
appreciate having them on. Everybody get out and vote Tuesday. If you haven't voted already here in Georgia, it's an important thing. People have died for that right. People have given up a lot for that right. And you can't complain if you ain't part of the process. So I just want to say to my guest, every one of you guys, thank you guys so much. And I'm sure we'll be talking soon. It's just a pleasure to meet all of you gentlemen. Appreciate you all. Good night to you guys.
Good night.
Power to the people.
Good night, and remember to say no to vampires and werewolves.
I'm gonna vote for the vampire
Man, that was boy, that was exciting. Like we do biker TV, and we don't often get visitors from the outside world. We normally do the roundtable for biker folks, but this is I'm living here, and this was a really blessed event to watch and be part of, and hopefully you guys get out there and do your biker thing and get to them damn polls out there, and whatever your vote is, let your vote be heard. That's the most important thing to me in the world. That's what I went to war and fought for, and I got these 4 bullet holes in my rear end, so that hopefully y'all can understand. I don't mean went to I don't want to make it like I was out in the forest like somebody in Afghanistan or not, but I was in the military, and I served my country, and these were the reasons, these were the things that happened while I was there. So anyway, love you guys. See you guys in the morning, same bat time, same bat channel, and we will do this thing in the morning, some sort of biker news for you guys, and that will be that. Thanks for tuning in. That's my 2 cents. Love to hear your 2 cents in the comment section below, and get out and vote tomorrow. Yeah. This is Black Dragon, host of Black Dragon Biker TV. During the November 8th election, Georgia bikers showed up and showed out. So Georgia bikers, it's time to do it again. That's right. Early voting for the Georgia Senate runoff has begun, and we've only got a couple more days left, plus December 6th. So go out and vote and let your beautiful biker voices be heard. And if you have any questions, go to vote.org, where you can track your ballot, find early voting locations, see what's on your ballot, or locate your polling place. Let your voices be heard. Hey, subscribers, whenever you are in Macon, Georgia, you have to get over to my Motorcycle Club Brothers Cigar Lounge. Haley's Cigar Lounge on Ingleside Avenue has a night or several nights just right for you. Monday night football kicks off the week. Wednesday is whiskey night. Thursday, ladies night. Saturdays are make your night. And wrapping up the weekend, it's Sunday football. Haley's is closed on Tuesdays. Enjoy the friendly atmosphere at Haley's. Hang out at the bar or outside on the patio. They can also host your small events. Haley's Cigar Lounge, 2308 Ingleside Avenue in Macon, Georgia. Be sure to tell them Black Dragon sent you.
Get Black Dragon's first book, The Prospects Bible, to learn how to join a motorcycle club. It has been an Amazon #1 bestseller for the past 7 years and is required reading for over 3,000 motorcycle clubs worldwide. This book is a must-have for new people venturing onto the motorcycle club set. It will teach you how to prepare yourself for service to the motorcycle club nation and show you how to qualify a motorcycle club to be worthy of your service. Available on Amazon, Kindle, and for order at your local bookstore. Get your autographed copy at blackdragonsgear.com. Be the best motorcycle club prospect you can be. Get the book.
Prepare yourself to take the helm as president of your mighty motorcycle club by delving into the pages of Black Dragon's newest book, The President's Bible, Chronicle 1, Principles of Motorcycle Club Leadership. There you will learn to advance your skills in applying the 14 scientific principles of leadership similar to those taught to officers in the United States Naval Service. Available in hardcover, paperback, and ebook. Get yours today on Amazon, Kindle, or order it at your local bookstore. Order your autographed copy from blackdragonsgear.com. Be the best motorcycle club president you can be. Get the book.